What's up, guys? Welcome to another exciting edition of Real Estate Podcast, episode 371. I'm here with Griffin.
I'm here with Trav.
And I think we're both collectively regretting our decision to tune in the antennas on our TV with Adam.
I don't
Wow.
regret it at all.
What a movie.
I don't.
Yeah.
But yes, I agree, man.
What an ending.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole time I'm like, how they gonna end this?
Yeah.
But what about all the like little nods to Bohemian Grove? He's like, your buddies at the Grove. And I'm like, the reason that was funny because I'm like, oh, Night Owls.
Yeah.
Moloch,
so,
you know?
There was so much, there were so little nods to that.
I was like, oh, that's
Dude,
cool.
There's one scene in this movie that eerily kind of creeped me out because of the Bohemian Grove connections and all of that. And if you're listening to the episode and you don't know what Bohemian Grove is, just go do some research on it, and then you'll come back and appreciate this episode a little more. But anyway, the moment where they have the woman and the child out there and she's bound to to the chair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's that eerie moment where she's just like kind of fucking with that dude, and she just snaps to Jack Delroy. And she goes, I remember you. We met under the tall trees. And I'm like, ugh, like that was just eerie. It wasn't spook. It wasn't scary. Because
he was like, I don't know what
you know what I mean. But it's like when you think about that type of shit and you're putting everything together, because it's not the Bohemian Grove thing isn't a throwaway thing. Like it keeps becoming, it's like a staple of the plot, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was really big in the 70s. Like,
but that twist of taking something that does exist and adding that one little bit of eeriness with the supernatural, just that did it for me in the creep department.
I really like how it was shot. It reminded me of watching. Like it felt like a movie out of the 70s.
it did. He was perfect.
Like Rosemary's Baby.
He looked like a host.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, I would watch this guy. This guy could be my next Conan.
Yeah.
This guy, well, I mean, honestly, Dalmatian, I think I'm saying his name right. I'm probably butchering it. But this movie to me proves he can carry a film because he does the whole way through.
A great job.
We've always seen him in supporting roles, but he always knocked, like when he's on screen, you're like, I know that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? And yeah. His facial acting's really good.
Yes. And I think this is the first thing I've ever really seen him in where he's playing just a normal-esque type of dude. Because every time, he's in anything, he's always playing
the quirky, nervous guy. Yeah.
Goofy.
But in this, like his charisma, like, dude,
he's got the riz.
You're right.
So it's almost like, could I argue that he's kind of the next generation's Crispin Glover in a way?
He kind of has the Glover vibe.
Even the hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's I mean, it's nothing. It's certainly not an insult.
No, not at all.
But yeah, it's so yeah. There's just it's not there. It's a simple movie, but it's just some of those little nuances that are scattered throughout that take a classic idea and do a good spin. Like when you said earlier, the way it was shot, and I was thinking like in terms of like how they I love how they, from start to finish, it was very much an episode of the show.
Yeah, it's presented almost like a documentary.
Yeah, and I really, really liked that.
Yeah,
and
that
was
cool.
The whole. I love the little montage at the beginning where it's like Jack Delroy, and it's given the whole layout of his life,
Yeah.
And so here's my thing. We know that clearly he made a deal with Abraxas, which is the name of that demon they were worshiping. Did he make that deal At
before
the
or
Grove
after?
before, yeah,
Well, he
because
said he
the
remembered.
timeline
That's what I'm
seems
thinking
weird.
because he said, "I remember you from from under the trees." That's talking about
Yeah.
being at Bohemian Grove.
But when
Like,
he went on hiatus, though, you're like, what did he do? And he just comes back, and then they never tell you what he did while he was away.
Yeah.
And it
I don't
made me
know. I
wonder
felt
if
like now it's time for your punishment. You had your 5 years of success. You were at the top of your game because
yeah, the
everything
good
starts
old
going
devil gets
wrong
his
towards the
due.
end,
Yeah.
right? Like it's like
Oh, and horrendously
110%.
wrong.
You know, he loses his
Yeah.
life. And it's like, and he's still trying to cling to, you know,
Yeah.
Oh, like, and he
it's time to pay
he's like
Piper. I
the
mean,
yeah, like and the whole thing is showing the callousness of the producers where they're like, get this shit cleaned up. Like, that completely just tuned out.
that one guy
Yeah.
was like discount Robert Downey Jr. I thought it was him at first.
Right.
The way he just came in there and started talking, I was like, is that Robert Downey? And I was like, it's not him. But he played a good manager.
I did like the little nod where when the medium is finally gone, at that one point they're like, hey man, motherfucker's dead.
Chris too?
Like, just so you know.
Yeah.
Chris Stu or
Yeah.
Cristal or something. Yeah.
Chris too.
They're like, yeah, he's dead. He kept vomiting that black shit up on
Said it was
the
coming
hospital.
out of
He didn't make
everything. He was shitting, puking.
Like,
And that one guy was like, I can easily explain this away. It's like he's throwing
Yeah.
up black shit, dude.
oh yeah, the skeptic man.
Yeah.
That actor did a good job of making you love to hate him.
Yeah.
Because as the audience, and that's
He
the
tried
thing,
to
I like.
hand it the check at the end. Here.
And
I
then
believe
straight up
it.
got art. He got fucking Indiana Jones out the ass, dude. Went full Raiders on his ass. Hung
Yeah,
that bitch
right.
by her fucking necklace and slit her throat. And I just thought it was like it almost in a weird way that when that whole death sequence played out, up until it started showing Jack kind of reliving moments of his life, when everyone's dying and it does that kind of stuff. I was like, dude, this feels like, why do I feel like I'm watching Aqua Teen Hunger Force? Like when just all chaos is happening on screen, you see Shake fucking running around like, get him out of here. But like the house is blowing the fuck up, like all that stuff, and then you just see, because that's what happens. Like that bitch's head splits open into some fucking Super Saiyan shit, and just Metalocalypse is the shit out of the whole thing.
Yeah.
To stay on par with my William Street references.
Like I thought that the movie was gonna end by like
Just the end?
Abraxas. No, like Abraxas trying to use the TV and the exposure as a way to like gain power. Because they kind of explained it in the movie where it's like it was a lesser demon, a lesser devil, whatever you want to call it, that they were fucking around with. And it's like, oh, is this how this dude's going to gain like quote unquote power in hell, or whatever you want to talk, whatever you want to call it. And are they going to try to do something like that in some way through the TV? I'm glad that they didn't do that though. Cause like, I thought that they were going to go straight Cronenberg, like Videodrome, to a certain
I really
extent
like.
with it.
I thought that too. For a few minutes there, I was like, yeah. But I also, I think this is another good example, and I think it's to be such a vastly different film. I think this is on par with like with Hereditary, with hell,
Yeah.
even Midsummer, and a lot of those other A24 films.
Yeah.
That deal with possession, because they make a point to give you enough of the idea that it's an ancient evil. It's not just a good old fashioned demon. It's like, nah, we're tapping into we did our homework.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I appreciate that little extra step that they take in movies like that.
Yeah. But yeah, I love the way that it was shot. I love the behind the scenes segments that were in black and white.
Yeah.
Like the whole and once it gets started, once the episodes, get started and they start rolling stuff out, it's just like one thing after another. It's like, what's going to happen here? And then whenever it all builds up to the actual like possession sequence,
Mm-hmm.
it was so fucking intense because
The-
like, oh, go ahead.
So I was just the way that he walked. It was they had the lights dimmed down and they had that light and the way he walked into it
Yes,
and
yeah,
told the camera what they were gonna do. I was like, this dude's fucking so good.
yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. And
Um,
I think all the events and the way he played it out with the night show host gimmick, because like it's almost like he had to do two roles in one in a weird way.
yeah,
He had to play like, you know, he had to obviously build his character for who he really is, and then he also had to do the late night persona
yeah,
and how to convey certain emotions while still trying to be like, what's going on, guys? You know the typical
Cheesy jokes.
yeah. So like,
Taking
and
a
I felt
dig
like
at his buddy every chance
yeah.
he got.
Oh man, he turned to
I
God
felt
quick
bad for
at the
him.
end, didn't that guy?
I'm talking about
Oh,
the guy that wanted to leave, the band director.
yeah, and he had the oh yeah, the one that had
And
the
the whole
worms
time
coming
he
out of
was
his
like, I don't
gut.
want to do
And,
this.
yeah,
I was like, listen to Andy.
yeah.
hmm but the aesthetic of the movie, like you guys were saying, was great. Like, and there, it's one of those movies that's simple, but everything just works well. And for me, it did.
Yeah.
It was just a
It
nice
had a
shuffle
very
of
good
things we're
ending.
familiar with.
And I
Yeah,
was
dude.
really
Like,
worried it was going to ruin it. I'm like, how you going to end this?
Yeah,
How
right.
you going to get us? Because I'm like, well, the tape's going to end, right? It's just going to be the end of it. It was like, no. They're
well,
going to show that little part. And he's like stuck in that world, like, turn it off.
but then it's like, and then you get the reality switch, and you're like, oh shit, like he just done killed that kid, man. Never mind that we're all as the audience, but like, hell yeah, he killed it. But
Yeah.
you
Something
know,
was wrong
the
with him after
characters
he kept repeating something. Can't remember what he was
well,
saying.
it's almost like, well, did he take it in himself then? That's because I was wondering that too.
I don't know.
Or was it an attempt at it trying to be like, this was all in his head, this was all his doing? Like
I don't know. Everybody
he
got
never
killed. Everybody's head was, that dude's head was spun around.
well, yeah,
One
because
chick's
one
throat
could
was cut.
because if you're presenting it like if we're gonna expand the universe a bit,
I don't think it's all in
and
his head because, like, when the guy when he did the hypnosis on him, they
Yeah.
played the tape
Mhm.
back. It wasn't real, but when they played the tape back on the girl, that part was. I mean,
right, it kind of jumped in, it kind of went meta, like we're
and the whole
seeing
time
his
I'm like, well,
actual.
let's see her tape, and then finally the girl was like, play my part back.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost like because of the taping of it, they're gonna see him just flipping the fuck out, that girl levitate. Like, you know, like there's a lot of I don't know. I feel like there could be an argument created there. You know what I mean?
Well, we were
Yeah.
watching the tape.
Yeah.
That was the tape.
Because they presented it as like documentary
Like
style.
at the end, it says the tape
Yeah.
ran out. It has a little screen that comes up. It's like end the
I
tape.
thought it just whenever it went to him like being in that alternate thing and seeing all those moments in his life and stuff, I thought that was just a weird artistic choice of them being like, all right, we're gonna go deeper into it and actually be there for a second and witness the character, what
It
he's
got
going
pretty
through and
meta.
shit. And then we're gonna snap back to the footage, and
reality.
it's gonna leave the audience to go, oh fuck, those cops are gonna show up, and all they're gonna see is a bunch of dead people and
Him
him.
holding that knife or standing next to
Yeah,
that.
where
Here's what's
we
crazy is that
understand.
girl was supposed to be sacrificed but got saved, and he ended up sacrificing her.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Which yeah,
With the sacrificial knife.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
And there was a moment in the film where he picks the knife up and
Yeah.
he's carrying it around for a while.
Yeah, and brings it over there and sets it down next to him on the table.
Yes. Yeah. And
I'm
I'm
like, maybe not set
"Mm."
that next to the demon child, is what
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
exactly. Yeah.
that it's destined for.
Dude, when they first
Speak-
brought her out, the way she was looking at that camera behind her,
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
that's fucking creepy.
yeah.
Yeah, like
That's
which camera do I look at, Jack? And you're like,
She
ugh.
was looking at us though. It felt the
yeah,
way
Yeah,
she
like
was
she was
looking at that
staring.
lens. I was like, all right, bitch. I'm in.
Yeah, I think that could have fed to me probably thinking like that's gonna happen. Honestly, like
yeah.
I feel like subliminally it was setting me up to feel that way, but who knows?
Yeah. Speaking of the demon child, this was that girl's first feature
I looked her up
debut.
too.
She did a
She
phenomenal
did a
job.
great job.
Like so charming when it was just like her being her, and then
Hmm.
like once she went full devil mode, like scary, intimidate, like the whole 9 yards, like
Well, it went
fantastic.
off the rails. Yeah, it went off the rails and stayed off the rails the rest of the whole time.
Yeah.
And it was such a slow derailment too. Like the medium going out there doing his Long Island medium bullshit. Then he fucks off and dies off screen. So there's already that tension. The snowball's been made. And then the minute they bring the chick out there, which I wonder because they implied that there was a relationship between the two, and from that it's almost like the
He may have
spirit of
cheated on
the.
his wife.
Yeah, because she's there,
I
and
mean,
that
he's Hollywood,
negativity.
Yeah.
But yeah, because we'll see when her spirit was there, it seemed pretty fucking angry.
It was jealous because
Yes.
the woman liked him. I noticed that the way that like she would look at the woman, the way that she looked at him, like you fucking bitch. It's like calm down, you
Mhm.
know. Well,
Yeah,
the whatever was in that girl was clearly a man. You could hear it speaking.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
The way
like
they
the
dubbed the
the
voice,
classic, yeah, the classic double over the deep and the normal.
yeah, but it was like a separate voice talking. It wasn't hers. Because you could tell that they layered it, and it was like a man's voice.
Yeah.
I'm over here like, okay,
But an excellent movie, man.
really?
Yeah.
And deserves to be a shelf sitter. And I would also say like it's it 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 could easily rest on the rotation shelf too.
Best Shutter
Yeah.
film I've seen.
For sure.
I
I
have to
think
disagree.
Well, I mean, that's fine.
I mean,
Talking
I'm
about
Blood
me.
Machines faithful to the end. I'm Blood Machines faithful to the end.
It's
But
kind of like a music
I will
video.
say, yeah, you're right. Yeah. So
mean,
with that being said,
this is
I
a
agree with
movie.
y'all. It is the best Shutter one for sure.
Kind of
you
freaky too.
know what I would like to see happen with this movie though? I wish that they would someone would organize a like Rocky Horror esque like theater experience, because like it's happening during Halloween. A lot of the people in the audience are dressed up in Halloween costumes and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You could either do this as a play. It would be very easy to do a play version of this, which I would love to go see. Um, or go to a theater and have that Rocky Horror experience where we're the audience, because they show the audience just a handful of times. They don't
Yeah.
show the audience. They don't continuously focus on the audience. And it does a really good job at making you feel like you're part of that audience
Hmm.
that's watching, because it sets it up as a documentary. But once you get into the nuts and bolts of it, you feel like you're part of that audience. So I
Felt
would
like I
love
was
to.
watching an episode of Late Night, like
Yeah.
Well, hear me
Right.
really
out.
with the commercials and
Interesting you say that, Adam, because hear me out, because I have an idea with it too. Imagine like an anthology series. This one, I know, Travis supporting a show. What? But make it like an anthology just called Later Nights with the Devil, and each episode is like not necessarily late night related, but it's episodes of shows where just these like canceled shows that just go horribly wrong and end on mysterious circumstances. That way you can rotate a cast, you can tell a different story each episode.
well, like one
Yeah.
story could be when the monkey flips out, the chimp,
Yeah.
and kills
Yeah.
all the cast members on the what you call it,
I mean, is it just the Twilight Zone with a different name? Yeah.
kind of.
Should
But
people care? No.
no.
Make it gory as fuck and just really good?
Yeah.
It's
Definitely.
just wild to me that that girl, her whole purpose was to be like possessed and then sacrificed, and
And it came
they
full
got their
circle.
sacrifice out of her, and they used
Yeah.
him to do it. He did it for them on TV in front of fucking millions.
Yeah.
That's some reach.
Nielsen ratings are going to be through the roof.
When that woman was like, "I love you," he was like, "Give her a Nielsen thing." All right,
Yeah.
you know. But
It's cool because they I was reading some of the trivia and stuff on it, and they said that the reason why it was a period piece during the 70s was because they looked up when, like, they needed it to take place on a Monday, close, like, around Halloween, where that the Nielsen ratings, I can't
Sleeps
remember what
week.
they call it. Yes.
Yeah.
And 1977 was like the only week, the only day that lined up. And so when they were writing the movie, they're like, "Yeah, we'll just do that. We'll just have it take place in the 70s and shoot it like a movie from the set." Like, and it works so well to their advantage in this.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, the color, everything.
Yeah. The grain,
Mm-hmm.
so
That
good.
was on a Monday
Yeah.
because it was October 31st, 1977.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So good. I would definitely buy this. I would definitely put this into the rotation. Such a good, fun little horror flick. And it wasn't, when it got off the rails, it had a similar pace into older, 70s, 80s horror movies where it's like things are slowly getting out of a hand, but when they go off the fucking rails, like Rosemary's Baby,
Mm-hmm.
when it goes off the fucking rails, it goes off the fucking rails. And then you're like, what the fuck is happening? And then you're like whipped back into reality. You know what I mean? And I loved it.
When that girl's head split open
Yeah.
and
That
that
was
light came out of
intense.
it, I was like, "Ruh-roh."
Yeah. That's
I
like
I don't think we're gonna be
good.
able to pull her mask off, Shaggy.
Yeah, right.
Right. Nothing but ethereal wickedness there.
Yeah. Loved it.
Yeah. Full star.
Full star.
Oh, yeah. Full star. It gets the coveted golden real estate vintage TV.
Tube TV.
The little excerpt things, like the "We'll be right back," the
Yeah.
little splash pages that pop up, all created using AI,
Wow.
which people can, argue that, whatever, AI, this, that, but it provided this weird eeriness to the
Yeah, and I
movie.
like
Probably
that.
helped it. Yeah.
And bringing that up, I like that the guy, the star, he stood by it and was like, these guys worked really hard on this movie, and just because some of the images were used with AI, which since we know that it's those splash cards, that's not a big deal.
I don't think
The
so.
set
No.
design was
I mean,
amazing.
Yeah.
those guys' brothers that did it.
Yeah, I think so,
Okay.
yeah.
I looked up the little girl too because I was like, "What's she been in?"
Yeah, she was great, man.
And had a from the theater. That's why
Yeah.
she'd been acting for a hot. I think she played Matilda, and
Ah.
I think it was Australia.
I think they shot it in Australia. I think they're from
Oh,
Australia or New Zealand. They're from, let's see.
Australia. Yeah,
Makes sense. But yeah,
but
dude,
everybody was
great.
great.
Yeah.
The main Polka Dot Man killed it. Like,
It really didn't feel like a Shudder movie.
no,
Like, and I don't mean that in a bad,
but I know what you
saying that,
mean.
yeah, because like there's a certain level of expectation when you watch a Shudder movie.
Certain
It's
level
like
of quality.
this is going to be very close to like sci-fi
Yeah.
channel original, but better. Like this is the logical step forward for that. But this didn't feel that way at all. The effects were great. The acting was great. It was just 10 out of 10.
Yep. Would watch again.
Yeah, for sure.
And
like
I
I
think
said-
it's also easily accessible too. Like I could recommend a friend this movie, and I feel like
Yeah.
it wouldn't be throwing them into the fringe too much, you know?
The fucking
I mean-
sideburns was on point too, man. I was
Yeah.
jealous of those sideburns.
I mean,
Burnsides.
I mean, hand him a Rickenbacker, and he's a Beetle, dude.
Yeah.
yeah, right. I could definitely see someone scripting out audience participation for this movie and doing the Rocky Horror thing.
Yeah.
Like whenever a joke hits, the whole audience laughs. At the end, there's like some chanting stuff going
Oh,
on.
I'd
You know what I
100%
mean?
go with this thing. And they act
Yes.
that out on a stage because that's all. It's just that room.
Yeah,
You never have to leave that room.
yeah,
Have it set up. He comes out late night, band's playing, and you act
Yeah.
out all that shit.
love it. Love
Yeah.
it.
And you can't have a damn exorcism movie with a little projectile vomiting. They even worked that in, you know?
I know, right?
Oh yeah.
Got to get the projectile in there.
I mean, it works. It works.
When that motherfucker's eyes rolled back in his head, I was like, I don't think he's kidding.
No.
When they went white.
Yeah. Christo.
Yeah. And the way, like, it's commercial break and they would all just go back. It's like, did any of us just witness what happened here? Like, 'cause
Yeah,
y'all just acted
exactly.
normal.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
another night
it
on
was-
TV.
Yeah. Gotta
Sold
love this
your soul,
crazy
man. You
town.
gotta pay the price.
You're gonna watch everyone around you die, and then you're gonna just lose your shit. You're gonna succumb to madness.
Speaking of succumbing to madness,
Uh,
whenever I told Griffin last week, but I was like, at the end of this episode, there's gonna be whenever it got to the end of the episode, and that woman walked in that room, and you see those fucking ears.
Yeah.
I
no,
said,
you can.
"Fuck you."
Yes,
fuck
I
you.
did. Same thing. That's
I
so
was
funny.
so pissed, dude.
I said, "Fuck this show" and cut the TV off, dude.
I'm like, now you're gonna do it.
yeah.
Remember early on, I
fuck
think it
off.
may have been you, Griffin. You was like, why didn't they use Yoda instead of her? Oh, because she's gonna show up to Yoda.
Yeah.
I said, fuck
Neat as
you if
hell.
you think you're gonna use that to try to get another season. The fuck out of
Fuck
here.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Well,
and the whole thing that I haven't gave a shit about is it's still the big crux. Like, so they don't point out a dyad in the Force, which that's clearly what they're not. They're some product of the Virgins, but they're not twins. They're not sisters. They're the same motherfucker.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
split
And
into two.
having, yeah,
But one's
the
clearly
bi-generation.
stronger than the other.
which makes no sense.
Yeah. So hey, I was right. They killed him.
Yeah.
Remember, I was like, they're gonna kill him, dude. Just
With
to
the
piss you
first
the fuck
ever
off.
Force choke. Yeah, all
They're
the
gonna
shit
kill
that should
him.
have. The first shit that really all this whole show just should have belonged to Vader or Palpatine.
You ask yourself, why kill him? Because fuck you. That's why.
Yeah.
We know
Like-
you like him.
Because the whole they made the bleeding of a lightsaber crystal. They made that lame as fuck.
Yeah.
Or the way she squeezed that lightsaber and it turned red.
It's like, oh, the rock's touching her hand. That's why. It's like, no, like I mean, I know it's
So
such
she's
a
gonna be
nitpicky
like the
thing.
strongest Sith ever.
Well,
Apparently.
they're gonna make it, but like that's supposed to be something that like Sith do in their trials. Like,
Yeah. We talked
you
about
go get
that,
a
like,
crystal, you
yeah.
got to bleed it, and
Or you
it's
go to
established
Disney
in
World.
Disney lore.
You just spend $200.
Yeah, right.
You get to pick
But,
out a rock and
But the whole thing where like the exposition of explaining why Kybers can bleed and that whole piece of lore that they've chunked into the mix now, that was a talking point between Palpatine and Vader in the Vader comic, and you actually see this really cool panel of him doing that, and you know, he kills a rogue Jedi because he lost his saber, you know, on Mustafar when he fought Obi-Wan. So when he has to build his lightsaber again, that's quest number 1. Like when he gets out of the chair and Palpatine's like, "Yeah, you killed Padme, sorry and shit." And he's like, "All right, well, what do I do next?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, you can't be a fucking Dark Lord of the Sith without a saber, so go fucking get one." So when he does that and he bleeds the shit, it's really cool and it's really profound because it's all that established lore that's made for Anakin and you know all that. So you're able to like be like, this is really engaging, you know.
Yeah.
But they're like, we're just gonna throw it in there for her because fuck it, why not? We've been doing it the whole damn show, so.
Yeah. Well,
And so who? So is the motherfucker that creeped around that fucking corner? Is that who the fuck I thought it was?
yeah,
What do you
that's who
mean?
people are speculating that it is. It's fucking what's his name?
Darth Plagueis.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the guy that Palpatine kills to learn all his shit. He's Palpatine's master.
yeah,
Oh, long
Eh,
face. Yeah.
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 Yeah, he was watching. He was like,
Yeah,
"The
but
precious."
yeah, they turned him into fucking Darth Gollum, dude,
Yeah.
for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, they're
Like,
setting you up for the next season, man. You get Yoda and him.
I don't know if I want it.
Yeah. Well, all right, here's a couple of issues that I had with the episode. First of all, like, why are we flipping fucking sides every episode?
Well, yeah, why are we trying to like? It's almost like taking the ball in the cup and go, "Hey, where's the ball, guys? Who's who? What's
Yeah.
what?"
It's like,
It's just not good. You can make that good,
yeah.
but they didn't.
And the way that it is explained is the dumbest shit ever because it's like since they're basically the same person, then you're going to have a good one and you're going to have a bad one. And
Yep.
them first of all not explaining that whatsoever was kind of fucking stupid. They could have had a really cool explanation as to like how this whole relationship between these two characters worked, right? And then you have May's going to go good, Osha's going to go bad, and then Osha's going to go good, May's going to go bad, and then May's going to go good. Like they keep flipping it around and none of it has any weight. None of it has any substance whatsoever because
Because
like
the whole thing is because they even made Saul, and the whole reason this whole thing's even happening, fucking stupid. The reaction to what his character did was so fucking like just not good.
yeah,
Because we can go back to earlier arguments being like, hey, he could control the force, he could clearly levitate. Pretty sure he could have levitated 2 kids down.
yeah,
Might have needed 2 hands, but he could have did it.
yeah.
But
And
no,
like
he's like, there needs to be a choice and a plot,
will pick
so
the
let
good
me
one."
fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Sorry,
good one
May.
that's good, the good one that has like completely unstable emotions about the whole thing. I'm gonna save that one.
yeah.
Like
And it's like
this
the
one's
whole
evil. At least I know. At least you know that she's fucked up. You know.
yeah. Well, and not only that, but it's like Saul's whole reason behind everything was because he loved this girl that he just met. That's a girl.
Yeah, kind of creepy.
Certified Jedi, certified pedophile. Wah. You
And
know,
it's like and that's his reasoning behind everything. And then not only that, but he doesn't even get to have a noble death because the chick
no.
that's over the Jedi is like, he was the fucking mole. He was the one who fucking did all this. They pinned everything on him.
When really it was
Yeah.
her.
Well, and it was, and I know we talked about it last week, but we need to back up too, and also underline that the reason Saul killed that woman was look what she was doing.
Yeah.
Like if you're
Probably would have
if
done the same, you know?
if you're in an old ass temple, which is gonna go crazy smoke monster on you, yeah, probably gonna kill it with laser as quick as I can.
Yeah. It's just it makes no fucking sense, dude. Like the writing is just so fucking bad on this shit. And it's like, and then why? This was my biggest gripe of the episode. I look past the fucking Plagueis stuff, look past the fucking Yoda stuff. Why are they trying to romanticize the Sith? That ending
Yeah,
sequence,
it's
whenever,
so stupid. Yes, I even pointed that shit out to my wife. I said, by the way, these are the bad guys, because she wasn't watching it, because I already told her it was kind of fucky.
I'm sure
yeah,
that's why.
And yeah,
She's like, fuck this.
and she's sitting in here with me while I'm cramming it out, and she's just laughing at every scene where the two are like, we're, well, at first when they have the conflict, like the sibling fight, you're like, oh god, this is fucking dumb. And then at
yeah,
the end, they're under that tree and they're like, and like you said, Griffin, they completely romanticize the shit out of the bad guys.
yeah,
And I know that it's a show about the bad guys, but you need to almost give it, if you're gonna do that, you're gonna have to. Breaking Bad couldn't pull it off, and neither could Disney. And that's making someone become bad and making the audience want to be like, no, they're bad. But
yeah,
instead, it's like, no, like, why am I suddenly behind the good bad guys for this?
yeah,
Breaking Bad did it better, of course. I mean, I know I'm comparing a fucking anthill to a mountain,
yeah,
but the whole thing with the, oh, we gotta wipe our memory and be separated because we're,
That way I
they're
can't
gonna
tell them
hunt us
about you because I love you.
because
yeah,
I don't want the world to see me and all that dumb shit. Like,
yeah. And it's like, and this is how it's going to play out. May's going to be pissed whenever she meets her sister that she got her fucking memory wiped, and then the roles are going to reverse again,
Yeah.
right?
well,
May's
it
going to
didn't
Well,
go
they're
work.
going to
evil.
take her and make her good.
Well,
She doesn't know she's a bad guy.
Yeah, but whenever
already
she
showed
meets her
you-
sister,
but they already showed you that it doesn't matter because Vanessa, or fucking the green-headed chick, she saw right through every fucking bit of it. She put two and two together immediately. She's like, "You're recalling a memory from when you were 8." Like,
yeah,
Good. You know?
yeah, but it's like, why? Like, what was their reasoning to pin all that on Saul? That way they can try to turn her good. She's definitely too old to become a Jedi now. What benefits can they get out of like keeping her around? Because she doesn't fucking know anything. She doesn't know what this fucking, and she's like, I need your help to find this. So what are they gonna do? Try to force unwipe her fucking memory? And then she's gonna be pissed about it. And then when her and fucking OSHA meet up again, OSHA's gonna be so fucking fed up with the dark side that she's
and
gonna be like, I'm gonna be a good guy now. And May's gonna be like, no, fuck you. I'm the bad guy now. So fucking stupid.
well, and here's my thing. Never mind, like some of those questions. Here's my thing. Why the fuck is Kymar suddenly like not a fucking threat to be dealt with?
Exactly. Right.
Why the fuck didn't they kill him? Like, and first off, Vanessa clearly knew his presence was there. She felt it the whole time because she looked straight where the fuck he was standing. It's like, why even deal with that? Why not force grab his ass, yank him to you, Scorpion style, and straight take that fucking laser whip and beat his ass?
Yeah. I don't,
Nah, fuck that. That makes too much sense.
yeah. It's just there's some really bad decision making that happened in this episode, and it's like, fuck. And like Soul don't even get the opportunity to really explain everything other than I loved you and I
I'm
wanted
sorry, Osha.
yeah, what was best for you. And it's like, you just fucking, first of all, you just met this girl like literally 15 fucking minutes before the fucking space lesbian witches
Yeah.
started getting weird.
Putting it
on her.
all on the line, you know?
Yeah. And it's like, how can you, like, well, we had a force connection. And it's like, okay, if you had a force connection that was that strong, then how the fuck didn't you, like, if they're the same person, theoretically, let's discuss this for a second. Theoretically, if they're the same person, right? They're identical. They're not twins. They're not sisters. They're the same person.
They
Saul should be
are
able.
they are a clone, 100% a clone in almost every shape and form, like even beyond a clone.
Yes. So Saul, with his infinite force abilities, should have been able to pick up the same quote force signal from both of them, right? Because they're both tapping into the force, and if they're the same person, then theoretically it should be the same thread of the force that they're both tapping into, right? So why wasn't he picking up mixed signals from both of them whenever they first fucking met and be like, this is weird. There's some fucky stuff going on here. This doesn't make any sense.
Well,
What are we
and here's also, and I know I'm just we're scattershotting this shit with fucking like what the fucks, but I mean it's a shotgun blast of shit writing, so
Yeah.
it's kind of what it is. But like the whole thing where when Kamar and Saul are having their confrontation there at the end, and they just get to gracefully drift down and can finish their lightsaber fight. When they go to throw, when Kamar throws his red sabers at dude, he and goes to do the fucking Thor shit back with it. Saul does that move that is pretty fucking effective. Why didn't he do it when the dude was throwing them at him with the trees?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like 5 episodes ago. Why didn't he do that? That probably came in handy.
Oh, it's it's just bad. And then they built. All right, this last episode, it's like, all right, here we've got Yoda, we've got Plagueis, we've got the green chick that like knows who's the master of the dude, and like here's all this stuff that could have been in this season. We could have cut the Osha May story down into like 4 episodes and then tacked the
Mm-hmm.
whole next season in on 4 episodes instead of running 20 to 25 minute fucking $300 million fucking episodes of shit. Of just bullshit.
Yeah, just all this whole show was a build up to the back of Yoda's head.
Yeah.
Like that's how much fuck you they were doing to us the whole show.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's just
you'll sit through all this other shit. Yeah, you'll sit through this too, because yeah, you will. Good
yeah.
doggy. Like, and my thing is that
Well, they even gave you a little treat at the end. They're like, here's a little treat for you since
Yeah.
you sat through it. Yoda.
yeah, and it's
Good little
like,
doggy.
oh, you mean a character that should have been the character that we were following the whole time? Like,
Yeah.
as far as like whenever it would cut to Coruscant and the cast
hell
and
you
like
say,
the
you know?
council. Yeah, like, and it could have been even something as simple as him being there going, I feel a disturbance, something ain't fucking right, guys. Because that's usually what Yoda does 90% of the fucking time throughout his presence is like, he shows up, everyone's like, man,
I mean, he
they all
could have
state
hit
their
us.
grievances.
He could have just hit us with a little, that would have been fine. Like, what
Yeah.
he said, you know?
Yeah.
He could have been, yeah. I mean, they could have used Yoda minimally and still been even way more effective than literally just a cameo shot at the end.
I feel
Yeah.
like that was added.
Yeah. Right.
Had to
Like
I
be.
really do.
Yeah.
I feel like that because it would have been so easy to have her come in. Like they could have went back and added that when this show started coming out. People were like, "Fuck this show."
They probably could have added.
Where's Yoda?
They probably added the Plagueis and the Yoda in response. But who knows, man? They will never tell us what they did to try to
Nah.
appease people and failed at. That's not something that because they don't care. And I'm not trying to be like we've already went into it at like ad nauseum about how much Disney has went on with Star Wars, and there's so many other content creators out there that literally survive off of that.
Yeah.
So, I tried to deviate from those arguments when I'm watching this show, but some of them bring me to them naturally, and some of it is just beyond all of the behind the scenes stuff that pissed people off from the crew that made it and the thought process behind it, and because it's all online, it's all on record. It's not us pulling fanboy shit out of our ass. It's all there. People are trying like hell to disregard the poor writing that this show had and try to say that it's just old fans cherry picking shit and hating it. And it seems that way because it's such a scatterbrain of a fucking show
Yeah.
for no reason, really. It's trying not to be, but it is.
Yeah.
And I think it's a failure of too many cooks in the kitchen.
Well, it's a failure of like traditional storytelling versus a pushing of a fucking agenda.
Well, it's without even going that deep. I think it's the idea of trying to make Star Wars for the current era, which sadly is very much agenda driven, but it's that same propagated storytelling narrative now of the exploration of the morally gray area.
Yeah.
There are no good guys. There are no bad guys. In an IP where good and bad is clearly fucking defined.
Yeah.
Like outside of the expanded universe, like even all the little side bit shit that I know, you know, and Adam knows, and all the other fans out there. Star Wars, for the average normal moviegoer, that's like, yeah, I watched Star Wars. They were good. Like they watched the 6 movies or the 9 now, and they're done, and it's what it is. Like there's clearly defined good and evils, and there's a tonal shift when you go to that sequel trilogy when they try to start jamming in this morally gray Game of Thrones level bullshit.
Yeah.
And there's places for that storytelling, but I just don't believe it. It should suddenly be this thing now in a property that's older than most of the fans, you know?
Yeah. Well, and the thing is like Star Wars can absolutely pull that off, that whole gray like middle ground, like they can absolutely pull that off. But what
Well,
they
like
need,
there are things in play that will allow that to happen. But as far as the overarching story and what is actually going on that causes the Star Wars, if you will, it's this defined idea of what's good and what's bad. You've got a tyrannical political movement that's being combated by a freedom loving resistance, and you have a power driven side of the force that wants to gain power, and you have a spiritually stoic aspect of it with the Jedi.
yeah.
And yes, there's a middle ground for the people who are conflicted emotionally and like in that spiritual aspect of it. But beyond that, it's very much good and evil.
Yeah.
And when you go further out of the individual character that you're seeing, which we're not getting a character in the show, we're getting characters that's supposed to be a character. It falls
Yeah.
apart.
Well,
So much the show sucks.
well that, that
It's
that's the problem with trying to write these like gray area stories is because there is no firmly like in this series particularly they go on the idea of the traditional lore of Star Wars, which was their mistake in my opinion, because historically speaking, you've got the Jedi, good guys, Sith, bad guys, right? But those ideas and those principles, as most fans know, have changed over the lore of Star Wars, right? They may not have changed or deviated much, but they have changed, they have deviated. And because of those changes, it causes that whole gray middle area to exist. So there wasn't a firmly established quote unquote good guy and a firmly established quote unquote bad guy. Like we didn't see Saul really do good shit. We didn't see fucking any of the bad guys do any bad shit. You have to firmly establish these characters as being the traditional good and evil. Then you have to work into these moral quandaries, and then you have the character development from that. We didn't have that. We haven't really had that in the Star Wars universe whatsoever, where they can tackle these subjects of having this gray middle area because they're going off the idea of, oh, fans know Jedi are good. And it's like, but any structured system has some corruption to it in some way, shape, or form. You have to show
But
us
that's
the
what,
individual.
yeah, because I would argue that through the mainline movies, the episodes and stuff, we get like the morally gray gets identified, and it's those people it's one of the causes for the Last Jedi. Luke just nopes the fuck out of the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, I would think that if you're going to look at like Star Wars and like the gray areas, I think Han Solo perfectly fits into that gray area, right? He does whatever he
Yeah,
has to do to get
and
by.
and you can compartmentalize these characters to where it's not the point of the show, but it's what makes their characteristics worth. It makes them an interesting character.
Yeah. It's just bad writing. And they spent way too much time on stuff that didn't matter. And then the stuff that you actually cared about, the Virgins. How are we going to watch a fucking TV show that's 8 episodes in length and we don't find out about this shit until the 7th episode? Something that significant? Like, what
Yeah,
are
it should
we
have been a
doing?
part of the whole fucking point of the show from the very get go.
Yeah. And it's a clever way for bad writing to explain away shit that they don't want to go into. They even said it in this episode. Oh, well, it's some Virgin shit. Like Saul basically said that. It's some Virgin shit. That's why you guys are the same. No explanation. No explanation needed. It's some Virgin shit. It's like, okay.
Oh, he said virgins. I thought
Yeah.
he said something else.
But yeah, it was bad. I hope that we don't get a sequel series. Honestly, hope that we get something that retcons all of this shit completely out of existence.
Well, as of 2 days ago, the creator was asked, and she's like, "I ain't heard nothing on the second season." So,
I mean, the ratings are fucking awful.
and they spent
Oh,
a
it's
shit ton of money.
and
Yeah.
it's got like a rating of 2 point something
It's
online.
lower
I
than
think
the Ewok Christmas special,
Yeah.
I mean it. Yeah,
which was the worst
it
rated
got butchered.
Star Wars thing.
Yeah. I think that Filoni needs to go back to we've talked about this. I know that
Nah,
this
bro.
is
Filoni was right in on it. He signed off on every bit of this shit, dude.
but they greenlit all of this stuff.
Yeah, this
and
was before him.
this was before he became the chief
I
creative.
mean, the only reason we're just now seeing is because of the writer's strike. Everything that happened, I mean, it got drug out.
Well, I mean,
this
dude,
is something
if Discovery or not, if Warner Brothers can shelve Batgirl, Disney could have shelved The Acolyte.
Oh yeah. It
well,
would have been a nice $500 million write-off. I mean, if you're dropping 150 million per episode and there's 8 episodes, fuck. You know what I'm saying?
what did they
And
spend
I mean,
that money on?
for such a vast budget, they only revisited like the same 3 or 4 locations the whole show.
Exactly. I don't know what they there was there was no real creatures that used practical effects, so there wasn't a lot of a lot of CGI work. Like,
No, it's just a lot of styrofoam debris.
It was
'cause
180 total
that's what the rubble on that bridge looked like at the end. I was like, that looks like
For
I could go pick
8
it up.
30-minute episodes. They paid $180 million.
I mean, that's insane. Get the fuck out.
The first season of Game of Thrones was 60 million.
Yeah.
Let that sink in.
And you know, there's shots in this episode that I hate it. That story wise, it's stupid, but on an artistic thing, it looks awesome. Like
There's
when
some cool
whenever they're
lightsaber
doing
fights.
when they were doing the pursuit through the rings around that planet, that was cool. It kind of
Yeah.
it
It
was
had
like
its
a nod
moments.
wink to. It was like, hey, remember the trench run? But like they had
They hit
that
you with a few
and then,
member berries, like
yeah, and then you had and then you had the whole thing with like the it's just I don't know. Like there were certain things that worked.
I'm giving it no stars. If we rate the season as a whole, it was it was awful. It was so convoluted. It was just bad. Poor writing. All the characters that you
A
give a shit
mis a
about are
mishandling
shit.
of a mishandling of established canon, a mishandling of essential characters. It was just overall it just wasn't good. Like I hope
Yeah.
this show is left. I hope Kamar and Osha are left just gazing off into the sunset forever. I'd
Yeah.
be okay with that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
If I had to rate it, I would lean into the microphone and go, "No comment."
Yeah.
I would have to say that on conclusion of there's an ongoing investigation. I can't reveal details right now,
I have to get back to you.
and yeah, I have to circle back.
Well, we got a little bit of movie news here. I'm going to hit on real quick. So, Happy Gilmore 2 gets the perfect comedy director for the Netflix sequel. So, the highly anticipated comedy sequel to Happy Gilmore 2 has now found a director in What We Do in the Shadows and Workaholics, Kyle Newacek. Now that someone has been found to man the helm of the Adam Sandler follow-up, production is ready to begin with What's on Netflix revealing that Happy Gilmore 2 will go before cameras later this year on September the 5th, wrapping on November the 18th, which should offer some clues as to when we will be sitting down to stream the sequel on Netflix. So yeah, Kyle Newacek, dude.
Perfect. I had no
Great
idea that
man.
he directed episodes of What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah.
15 episodes, was a producer on like 28, but still, that's a lot.
He
As a lover of that show and Workaholics, I'm happy
Yeah.
with it.
Oh,
I like this
for
guy's
sure.
style.
Yeah.
Perfect for he grew up on Happy Gilmore. You can clearly see that
Oh, yeah.
when you
for
watch
sure.
Workaholics.
Yeah. So, for those of you that are not aware, Kyle Newacek has directed episodes of hit sitcoms What We Do in the Shadow, Workaholics, Community, and Parks and Rec. He also directed and produced Game Over Man for the streamer back in 2018, as well as the first murder mystery movie starring Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston.
I mean,
So, yeah. It's a W. I love Kyle Newacek.
yeah,
He's great.
it's a W. We might even see some of the boys in the flick then.
That would be awesome.
Well, like Anders looks like a golfer,
Oh yeah, he does.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like let old curly hair play as caddy. He looks like a caddy.
Yeah.
I heard a podcast with oh man. God damn it.
Adam.
Nah, it was Grandma's boy. The guy he was on Reno 911, the guy on the rollerblades. Nick
Oh yeah. Nick
Swartzen.
yeah.
He's gonna be the caddy for Adam Sandler.
Oh God. Okay. I mean, I'm not mad at it.
No.
Let's fucking do
I'm
it.
excited about that.
Yeah, right.
Podlogged.
Yeah. So if they're gonna start filming in September, wrap it in November, we'll probably see this spring of next year. I'd say probably March,
W.
February, March, April of 2025. So I'm ready for it.
Yeah, he said they didn't have a script yet, but they were, they're working on it, but they don't have
Right.
one.
Yeah.
I'm like, that shit writes itself, man. I could have you one
Yeah.
30
Yeah.
minutes, you know?
Yeah. Right. So next up here, Brendan Fraser cast as former president in new movie about iconic World War II battle. So Academy Award winning actor Brendan Fraser has been tapped to star as Dwight D. Eisenhower in the new film Pressure, which is being billed as a ticking clock drama that will tell the true story of the days leading up to the Normandy landing in 1944. Before serving as the 34th President of the United States, Eisenhower was the supreme commander of the Allied Expeditionary Force in Europe, who supervised the invasion of Normandy, which lasted for nearly 3 months and resulted in a victory for the Allies. Per deadline, Fraser joins the previously announced Andrew Scott, who will portray Group Captain James Stagg, the Allies' chief meteorologist who played a key role in the Normandy victory, informing Eisenhower of the weather conditions that led to its success. Pressure is being directed by Anthony Maras, with filming expected to begin in September in the UK. So this is the synopsis. In the 72 hours leading up to D-Day, all the pieces are in place except for one key element, the British weather. Britain's chief meteorologist officer James Stagg is called upon to deliver the most consequential forecast in history, locking him into a tense standoff with the entire Allied leadership. The wrong conditions could devastate the largest ever seaborne invasion, while any delay risked German intelligence catching on. With only his trusted aide, Captain K. Summersby, to confide in, and haunted by a catastrophic D-Day rehearsal, the final decision rests with Supreme Allied Commander Dwight D. Eisenhower. With only hours to go, the fate of the war and the lives of millions hang in the balance.
Diamonds.
Yeah, hold diamond hands.
Yeah. Putting that pressure on him.
It's crazy, dude. Yeah,
I wonder what kind of, because you know that photo they're using. That's not.
yeah,
It's just from a movie, but so he's gonna have like a comb over and.
yeah.
Well, I hope that when
Meteorologist.
when the trailer starts, it's like dun 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 dun.
No, it'll be
Yeah,
a
it's like it shows him leaning over with that thumb shot, and he goes, "Get me the weather, man."
no, dude. It'll be a slowed down version of the song. You know, they're gonna drag it out.
Now, is it gonna be that defiant, like modern day, like doon doon dun 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 dun
Yeah.
doon doon chan doon 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 doon?
Yeah,
Like, okay, yeah.
that's
Eisenhower
gonna
was a
be.
5-star general.
I mean,
Those are the good old
Eisenhower
days.
was
Ike.
he was a good president. He warned us all, and we didn't listen.
it's gonna be interesting.
But I mean,
Was that the
but
military
yeah,
industrial complex speech?
yeah.
Yeah.
But Brendan Fraser, he's making a comeback, and I'm here for it.
Yes.
And I'll definitely give it a watch though.
Let's see, Andrew Scott. Okay, he was
Give
in
me the map, Scott.
1917. Yeah,
Hmm.
he's been in a lot of stuff. 71 previous roles. So good on him. All right, Trav, Spawn. The long-awaited Spawn reboot gets an official title.
I know. I know. Like, I
It
can't
is.
believe it's actually happening.
Look, let this sink in for a second. It has been 7 years since it was announced that McFarlane was teaming up with legendary horror producer Jason Blum to develop a new Spawn film. And
We were
now,
there when the magic was written.
yeah, and now the film feels closer to happening as McFarlane and Bloom took to X to share the film's title. The Spawn reboot will be titled King Spawn, and the post showcase the script, which is credited to Matt Mixon, Malcolm Spellman, and Scott Silver. The title is the same as the 2021 miniseries titled King Spawn, which revolves around a vile villain escaping hell and Spawn being asked to take the throne of hell.
I mean, sheesh.
King Spawn, dude. What do you think about the title?
I think a King Nothing by Metallica.
Yeah, your crown king, nothing.
Yeah, King Hellspawn. But no, man, like this is probably the best update that we've gotten.
Oh yeah,
The
I
script
agree.
is done. We got a screenshot of the hard copy. Um, what have these guys written? The screenwriters, what have they written in the past? Like, what are they? What's their credentials?
So Matt Mixon, what they've got him credited here in the article is Yesterday Was Everything. I don't know what that is. Malcolm Spellman worked on Falcon and Winter Soldier, and Scott Silver worked on Joker.
I mean,
So
send it to press, dude.
So are we
Like,
still casting Jamie Foxx?
allegedly.
yeah.
I saw a video of him here a while back, and he seemed to be fine. It was a real video. He was in public talking to some people,
I
Well,
mean,
telling them
If
about
it-
what happened. He's like, I woke up one morning and like I had a headache, right? And I just passed out on a movie set. I woke up in the
Well-
hospital 14 days later, and it's like, damn. Like,
it would be. I feel like it would be interesting if, since they're going to clearly have the movie, which they said early on, or in Todd McFarlane's earlier interviews. Spawn's already going to be. It's not an origin story. We're not going to have this long drawn out hour where we're going to see Jamie Foxx's face, and
Yeah.
then the rest of the movie he's CGI. Like, that's not happening. But I feel like they could do it in such a way to where they could use his face minimally, so he doesn't have to film a lot of scenes, but a
Mhm.
lot of voiceover work. I
well,
feel
you
like
know,
that's
he was a
probably
big pusher too of getting it made.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
something he
but-
wanted to happen. Like,
and it would be, and I feel like with the level of actor that he is when he
such
goes
a good
serious,
actor, dude.
I feel like he would go the Pedro Pascal wrote from Mando season 1 and 2, at least for most of it. And I feel like he would sacrifice the FaceTime for the voice
Oh,
and
yeah.
just pushing of the movie. But I
You're
mean,
a
that's
team
just
player.
my own speculation, man.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I feel like it's long past due for
7 years.
like newer generations to be introduced to this character.
Yeah.
It better get made. It's like we're closer than ever. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
you
'Cause if they
said
can
that
do it
7
right,
years ago.
Yeah.
Spawn is such a fucking awesome character. He's just fun to read.
Yeah.
Fun to look
it's-
at. Like,
I mean, heavy metal as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm down for it.
so I'm pretty sure, yeah, King Spawn is a book. So have y'all
Yeah.
read King Spawn?
No, it came out
Y'all familiar with the
3
story?
or 4 years
Okay.
ago. No.
So, and it
Uh,
looks
it's-
cool.
It says here, while
Ah.
no release date is set, Bloom has previously stated that the movie is aiming for a 2025 release date, but currently no director is attached. McFarlane has expressed his interest in directing, but following the box office and critical disaster of 2008 The Spirit, it might be hard to sell for a studio to have a first-time director like McFarlane at the helm. There's also a question of who will play Spawn. Jamie Foxx was attached to play the role, but it's unclear if that's still the case. McFarlane also intends for King Spawn to launch a cinematic universe, and Blumhouse likely wants it as a new potential blockbuster franchise. The first movie needs to perform well at the box office.
Yeah,
Spawn-
don't. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I hate the butt in, but it's like just commenting on it, just like as you say it though. Like, yeah, dude, don't.
Yeah.
They're already thinking way too big for a character that doesn't need that kind of
Pressure.
storytelling to draw the audiences in. Like keep
It's
it
not
keep
Iron
it
Man.
yeah, like keep it on a level like Constantine, like that way, because like Spawn as a character is such like just like what comprises his physical appearance is so much spectacle in and of itself that you don't need to have a bunch of other shit going on.
Yeah, right.
Like when Spawn steps up to bat against the big bad of the movie, like that's gonna be that's where the budget's going, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see what happens with this. I mean, at least the script's done. If the script's good, then they shouldn't have a problem attaching a director. And Bloomhouse, I mean, they've got a whole room of people that's trying to direct something. You know what I mean?
And
Yeah.
between you and I think that because Bloomhouse, they used to be more of a shit house, if you catch my drift. And arguably, some of those types of films and directors are still able to have that roof over their head. I
Yeah.
think Blumhouse should just let McFarlane direct it. He created the character.
Yeah.
He like it would be
Like, who knows
so
Spawn
close.
better than.
Yeah.
And you have to give him creative control. Like, don't come in there and try to gatekeep his ass. I mean,
Yeah,
he
like,
did the
if-
Freak
if-
on a Leash music video. Come on.
If the fucking guy bumps out a 5-hour cut,
He really did.
I mean, let Zack Snyder go Snyder with it. Do a 2-hour run where it's the studio's movie, and then be like, hey, here's Todd McFarlane's King Spawn, and it's like, fuck yes.
He also did Disturbed's music video for Land of Confusion.
Oh,
Oh.
nice. My question is like, why is Bloomhouse and also McFarlane trying to make this a feature? Why not try to make it 6, 8
Well, they
episode
don't really do
series?
shows, do they?
Well, I think this could be a good jumping point for a series, because the thing with Spawn is he has his own rogues gallery
Yeah.
that there's still enough meat on the bone that a
There
show
was a
could a series
cartoon.
a show could be made to oh yeah, absolutely, and that was a good one. And
Yeah.
both of those like, as much as people probably want to camp on the cheesiness of the original live action Spawn,
Oh,
it's near and dear to me. I like it. I mean, it's definitely nostalgia goggles for me.
Yeah.
But the that and the animated feature,
Yeah.
and like I said, there's still enough. There's still enough in his toolkit that can be made into a show, a sequel film, all of that, without necessarily needing crossover characters
Right.
or bit kind of almost
oh, they
take
do
a
have
page
TV
from
shows.
take a
Didn't know
page
that.
from Matt Reeves. Like he's choosing to keep his Batman story about Batman and people involved with Batman,
Yeah.
not DC at large. And I don't think there's like, I don't think Image should open up to being like, oh, Spawn and the Max are gonna start doing shit, or you know what I mean,
Yeah.
stuff that would be cool, I guess, in a weird way, but stuff that like younger audiences aren't gonna give a fuck about.
Speaking of Batman, real quick, they said that the Penguin show picks up like a day after that Batman movie.
So right after Gotham's
Right
flooded,
after it.
that's
And
gonna be cool.
and Batman
Hell
or
yeah.
Pattinson will be making appearances throughout the show.
Fucking
That's our
right.
next show, I think. Won't be
Yeah.
long.
I
That'll be
mean,
out. I mean, I'm
I'm
watching
sold. I'm sold on it just to see Colin Farrell act out in a fat suit,
it.
man.
Bruges.
Like,
Yeah. And Bruges.
I do like that it's not a prequel. I like that it's like we're dealing with the, like, if you're gonna watch the Penguin, watch the Batman first.
Yeah.
You know, like I like
Yeah.
that idea.
Well,
Like,
and that's going to lead into the next Batman movie. I mean, for sure,
mhm.
Yeah. So we've got a little bit of Marvel news. We got 2 articles back to back. And the first one here is about the Eternals. So fans hoping for Marvel Studios to make an Eternals 2 announcement at San Diego Comic-Con this year might not want to hold out too much hope. Eternals was one of the first films in Marvel Studios' Phase 4 lineup and looked to offer a very different movie for the MCU, pushing for a potential Oscar play with the appointment of Chloe Zhao as director. Yet, despite a healthy box office return for a movie during the COVID 19 pandemic, the reactions of both audiences and critics were extremely mixed. It's been 3 years since Eternals debuted, and fans of the film hope that Marvel Studios might still move forward with a sequel, especially considering both the cliffhanger ending and 2 post-credit scenes that beg continuation. While speaking with Inverse, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige said there are no immediate plans for Eternals 2. That doesn't rule out one day there being one, but at the moment the studio has other priorities. Plot points from Eternals, however, will play a role in future Marvel Studios movies like the upcoming Captain America Brave New World. As per Feige's full quote, there are no immediate plans for Eternals 2. There are, and I think you've seen maybe in a trailer we've recently released, an acknowledgement of some of those events. Certain giant things came out of the ocean. So it looks like Eternals got put on the back burner.
Well,
Um,
You know
I'll go
why?
ahead and
Remember all the bitching people did when it came out, and now they're like, well, "When's the next one?" And it's like, "Well,
see, yeah, see, because I will still die on that hill that the Eternals is one of the most underrated Marvel movies in the whole catalog.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it as good as the Avengers
well,
series?
it's not the
No,
Avengers, you know, it's the
but
Eternals."
it is. But if you sit and actually watch it, which a lot of people claim they did, it's actually a pretty damn good movie.
Yeah. But my biggest gripe with it was the movie runtime is 2 hours and 36 minutes. They needed
Yeah,
like another 45 minutes.
absolutely.
Like it should have been the Eternals should have been the first MCU Disney Plus series.
That would have helped.
Yes.
Or it could have at least been, I wouldn't say a series, but it could have at least been like a good
3-hour movie.
2 to 3 part movie event.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I mean, and we may see some of these characters pop up. That's something that they haven't really hinted on is the fact that like we could see a few of these characters pop up in Secret Wars, the Kang Dynasty, whatever else they
Blade,
decide to do. Yeah, I mean, they're the thing with
if
the
that ever comes
Eternals.
out.
Yeah, right. The thing with the Eternals is they're always around. They may just not make their presence known. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the thing that everybody needs to take into consideration is like the Kang shit, they're aware of it. They know what's going on. They're just watching. You know what I mean? They're just kind of in the background
Well,
watching.
they're robots. They're in power down mode right now.
Yeah, right.
They're on power
But
saver.
but next up, Feige breaks down Marvel Studios' plans to make the MCU more accessible. So, the MCU that began with the release of Iron Man 2008 is unique in cinematic history. An interconnected series that currently includes over 50 films and television series, it tells a continuing universal story with one entry building upon the previous to create immersive fictional world. While fans of the MCU find this linked world and its many Easter eggs exhilarating, it can prove to be daunting for anyone new to jump into the series with such a storied legacy. Seems Marvel Studios head Kevin Feige agrees and is planning on doing something about it. In a recent interview with Comic Book, Feige discussed the recent move to separate the MCU's films, television, and animation projects in an effort to make the MCU more accessible to new reviewers. For several years, Marvel Studios and Marvel Television coexisted, and the former produced movies under the guidance of Feige, and the latter delivering TV shows headed up by Jeff Loeb. While there were several character ties between the two arms of Marvel, it became clear over the years that things were never quite in sync, with shows such as Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. throwing up major discrepancies like not recognizing the rules of time travel and 5-year time jump that were introduced in Avengers Endgame. In 2019, things changed when Marvel Television and Marvel Family Entertainment being brought under the Marvel Studios banner under Feige's direct control. 5 years later, ironically, it seems that Marvel Studios is once again splitting itself into different banners, albeit with all of them still falling under the Marvel Studios umbrella. As Feige explained, it's all still under Marvel Studios, which is not the case with the previous incarnation of Marvel Television. One reason we wanted to do that is so that the animation team, the Marvel animation team that just did X Men 97, has a bunch of great shows ready and coming out. The hope is that this will open the MCU up to a wider audience who will no longer feel overwhelmed by where to begin. Feige continues, then with Marvel Television to focus it so that people realize that, like the comics, you can tap into something interesting. It's not all required viewing. There's a sense of where people say superhero fatigue or have to say they're doing homework. But these are all individual stories meant to be singular entities. The connectivity is a bonus and something people like. But here's the thing though. Um Whenever I'm going to use Moon Knight as an example. So Moon Knight exists in the MCU. We've got Oscar Isaac playing the character. You didn't have to watch anything else Marvel related to be able to understand that story and to enjoy it, right? And
Right.
it was the same way with a ton of the first couple of phases of Marvel movies. You would have, here's a self-contained story, and then at the end of it, you get a little wink nod to something else that it's building up to, or to the sequel to that specific story, whatever. Like Spider-Man. I'll use the newest Spider-Man movie, for example. Um, that opens up the idea of like the multiverse existing and mashing itself into, like crossing over and all this kind of stuff. But you didn't realistically need to watch one Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness or anything else to understand that. Like, I think that the MCU is already plenty accessible except for Endgame and Infinity War, because you need to know what's happening leading up to all that to understand that
Yeah.
story.
Well, yeah, I think that like, they've already kind of did a good job with. Yeah, if you're gonna watch the Infinity Saga, you kind of need to watch the movies because Endgame and Infinity War are not gonna have anything remotely emotionally resonating to you as an audience member if you go into those movies just kind of cherry picking along the way.
Yeah.
You kind of need to slow burn for that. But the
Yeah.
minute Endgame's over, that's when it becomes like, okay, we have this one big ass story here, but here's all this other shit going on now too. We're still telling a big ass story, but you can pick up after Endgame and go and just understand that, all right, there was a time where the heroes fought Thanos wiped out half of all life, people came back, all right, weird shit's going on.
Yeah.
Like the proverbial things went really off the rails and never gained traction.
Yeah. But I also think that what the MCU is kind of suffering from right now is the fact that you have a lot of different stories from a lot of different characters that are going in completely different directions. Whereas like in the Infinity Saga, that was all leading specifically to the Thanos thing that was happening, right? But we've got a lot of different loose ends that haven't been tied up yet in the MCU, and they're trying to do the same thing with Kang, but
But you and I both know that's a product of their own doing and a product of the natural progress of having an expanded universe is eventually the plot lines are going to deviate very far away from one another. And you
yes.
don't even need the multiverse to do that. You just need the characters' actual lives and how they interact with one another.
Yeah.
And it does make things accessible, but I feel like if you're someone that's jumping into the MCU, you're eventually going to digest all this material eventually. Because
Yeah.
if you like it and you really enjoy it, you're gonna start with movie. You're gonna go back to Iron Man and jump from there and go all the way up to that. I know people
Yeah.
who've actually done that,
Yeah.
and the people that don't like it, like they know good and well after maybe one or two movies or one or two episodes, they're like, I'm not sitting through this shit.
Yeah. And I think that instead of like deviating, what they should do is like, all right, this next 10 years, this next saga that we're going to focus on is going to be specifically about Kang, right? And they should earmark the movies with during the trailers, during the press, all that stuff that like, hey, this movie is very key to the overall story. Like, think of Thor Love and Thunder. Don't have to watch Thor Love and Thunder to understand the Kang stuff, right?
Yeah.
But Ant-Man Quantumania, it's kind of an important thing to watch to go into it, right? So
Yes. But the
so
conundrum but the conundrum that we're in now though is that they've already came out. Feige's came out time and again. for like the Miss Marvel or the Marvels. They literally had to tell the public, please go watch the Marvels because it actually contributes to the overall plot line.
Yeah.
So there's already a little bit of damage control that needs to be done and house cleaning that needs to be done before we can streamline that process, because that works. What you said, it would absolutely fucking work.
Yeah.
But you can't make a mansion out of a mud hut, man. And Marvel's kind of become a mud hut.
Well, I think with this weekend's release, it's going to be their first effort to try to correct everything.
Well, I
And
mean, they've been on the upswing, I would argue, since Guardians Volume 3. So it's there, and you can tell where the changes have been made, but we're going to have to deal with Agatha all along.
yeah.
God knows what else from Disney Plus. I mean,
Well,
honestly, with the quality we're getting not only from Star Wars, but also Marvel, Disney needs to toss Disney Plus into the trash heap.
well,
Take all those, take the content that has been created, do a double dip, make physical copies of everything. Because there are, I mean, come on, I would love a box set of What If. I'd love a physical copy of WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like there's stuff that they make that's worth having the definitive article of. But
yeah,
they're not going to do that. That's too resource heavy, and I get it. But Disney Plus is just the only reason I'm using it is to watch it for the pod, guys, right? Like that's why we all subscribe.
yeah. I mean, but well,
I
here's
use
my thing
someone's
with it.
account,
Yeah.
but yeah,
My,
Yeah, but that being said, people like us that use other means to watch it, you gotta fucking stop giving Disney their money.
oh, it's
Because
happening.
that's also because it's the conundrum too. Because
They're losing
people are
money.
going to watch it because folks like us will watch this shit and tell people whether it's good or not, but they're still making their money.
yeah.
And what's going to happen is a reluctant full stop of that. Because if the money stops coming in, that's when Disney will perk up and go, all right, pull it.
Well, I mean, for me personally, I don't think that I don't mind the Disney Plus and the Marvel, like them doing these minor characters, like Moon Knight, the WandaVision story, all that kind of stuff in an episodic format. I don't mind that at all. But it's just like in relation to what Feige's talking about, it's like you don't need to watch Moon Knight to understand what Kang's doing. It
But
needs to
see,
be earmarked.
but the thing with that is that stuff like Moon Knight, Werewolf by Night, um, What If, X-Men 97, like those are good, but then you got to think about all the other shit that was bad.
Well, we just watched one.
Yeah.
Like She-Hulk was awful. Acolyte was awful. Like, like
Yeah. Uh, I mean, the next show that we have to look forward to on the Marvel side, other than Agatha, is I think Daredevil. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and they've think about it. By this time, a year or two ago, we would have already gotten 3 going into our 4th Marvel series. And we've only got like what, 1 Marvel series this year, and I think it was Echo, like right at the beginning of the year. So they've definitely slowed down on their content production on the
and
Marvel
I
side.
heard nothing. I heard nothing about Echo.
Nothing
good
or
bad.
bad though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
Probably
Like
a
it
good
just
thing.
like well that level where it's like it just wasn't watched.
well, I'm sure it's
I don't know about
okay,
that.
but that's the problem with that Marvel has with that. It's like Echo is just such a minor character that's introduced in the Hawkeye series that is a that introduces already all these characters, and it's like would I rather have an Echo series or would I rather have a Blade series or any other character? It's like Echo is such a random Z-list character, and this is no offense to any of the Echo purists out there. It's like, but you're really like Echo is a great secondary character in another show.
But they were using
Right.
Echo to do Kingpin.
But
Yeah,
Kinda. I mean, he's like a
exactly.
side character in the show, and it's like, why not just make a fucking Kingpin show, motherfucker?
The only reason you gave a shit about Echo was because you're like, oh, we know who Kingpin's right hand man's going to be right now.
yeah,
And it's funny because according to Google, Echo's worth watching because it is, quote, thrilling, dangerous, and gripping.
It's also only
Mm.
5 episodes.
yeah.
I will watch that before Daredevil comes out because I feel like
Same.
it'll add something to it.
Yeah,
I'm just
same.
not breaking my neck to see it.
Yeah,
It's got a
So,
70 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Here are 3 quotes from 3 different reviewing sites, and they're very brief. They're not like paragraphs or anything. From Reddit, the consensus is Echo was great, beautiful visuals, use of
Mhm.
sound, and most importantly, characters to care about. Loved it. The most Reddit response ever, right?
yeah,
TikTok, worth revisiting. The show has a real sense of humanity, and it pairs it with grounded street level action.
A TikTok person did not write that.
I think that was ChatGPT. According to Geeks of Color, Marvel's Echo is a stunning display of indigenous culture, but falls short of its gritty potential.
Okay. Well, if you'll notice, when you look at the score and go to Rotten Tomatoes, the audience score is a 59. The tomato meter, 70. So clearly we're getting some. The
Yeah.
critics loved it.
yeah,
That's usually a bad sign. Remember back in the day, you could listen to a critic. It's like, all right, 2 thumbs up.
yeah,
Now, if it's 2 thumbs up, it's like, so it's going to be dumb. Like,
yeah. Right.
but I'm still going to view it
Yes. For
before,
sure.
because I feel like, they're setting up a little story there with Kingpin.
Yeah.
Have you guys, have you guys seen? Have you guys seen? This is a certain level of review bombing. The Acolyte has this trend right now on reviews on Google where it gets a 1 star, but it goes off into a fucking Bible chapter of explanation. But I just want to read the first like 2 lines of it though. And it's just people copy and pasting the same review. It says the television series The Acolyte is a work of art that has completely left me enthralled. I've been mesmerized by its intricate and captivated storytelling, the deep exploration of themes that resonate with viewers, and the complex, engaging plot that is so very canon judging by the various books, games, and graphic novels out there. And it's just like, yeah, but they give it a 1 star.
Yeah.
And it's like it's just so yeah, the review bombing's there, but
There's
dude,
a certain
the
level
snark
of
is
tism to it.
the snark is fucking real. And trust me, that's just the first few sentences. There's like 6 paragraphs to this each post. Like it's a full on research paper. It's a persuasive essay.
Like I said, tism.
Yeah.
My wife just did a Donald Trump hand motion and went, ew.
I'm ready for trailers though.
We
I
got
know
some
we got some
bangers
good
in here.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, let me swap devices while y'all get set up.
We got a lot of final trailers.
Oh. This is the end.
Yeah.
I'm excited for some of these trailers we got here. Dude, people have been saying that Twisters is amazing.
Yeah, right.
Like all the reviews I've seen on it are like, dude, this is
I
amazing.
heard someone on the podcast, they said they went and watched it and loved it. I'm like, hell yeah. I mean, I love the first one.
Yeah, I
Down to
mean,
watch it.
yeah.
Like that dude that stars in it.
Oh yeah. He
The
got
guy that
cast
looks
as the
like
running
Dale
man.
Earnhardt Jr.
Yeah. He does. He does look like Dale
Doesn't he?
Earnhardt Jr. Holy shit.
You'll never unsee that now.
No. Oh my god.
He could play him in a movie.
Yeah. But I'm happy for that guy. I'm happy that they got some good reviews going on. Definitely excited to peep it.
All right, guys, I'm back.
Aight, then.
Meanwhile on Earth.
Meanwhile, on
Meanwhile,
Earth.
Yeah.
in the Hall of the Super Friends.
Meanwhile on Earth. Ah.
Yeah. Moriarty. Yeah.
All right, let's see if it plays. I'm playing it now.
Yep. Oh, IGN. Okay. Metrograph. Heard it. Oh, is this a foreign? Yep.
It wants to be poignant, guys.
Is this French?
I think
C'est
so.
classe. It's not the
Okay.
classe.
We don't fuck with those anymore. Uh-oh. Signal. God, I hope the aliens don't meet the French when they first get here.
I know.
What's happening?
Weird Frenchness.
Did you say weirdness? Oh, dude, it's Frenchness.
That looks really good, actually.
The French need to
I
get
got
their
an
shit
ad.
together.
I have an ad for BMW. Let me dip into my savings for that. All right,
Yeah, I'm
next one.
good. The Becomers. Ooh. Become.
Is this a song about? Is this a movie about Weezer coming undone?
I don't know. It has a weird. I'm playing it. I saw some weirdness. I was like, I'm down.
Becomers. What's happening? She's becoming.
Mhm.
Oh fuck! I'm becoming. But, you know. According to Quora's, a question on Quora: why is France so disgusting? France is only pathetic in one sense, i.e., being capable of feeling empathy for others. I ain't got nothing wrong with the French. I like the fries.
The fuck was that?
Are they aliens?
Mm.
Ow. Ear abuse?
They're aliens.
I'm kind of down for this. Who knew eye effects could be so creepy? It's like one of it's that new that new renaissance of horror films that are, like, psychedelic in visual, you know?
Yeah.
I know y'all are excited for
The
a Tubi original.
The Thicket,
Oh, The
dude.
Thicket? I'm about
It's
to tell you,
got
you got my ticket to The Thicket.
the Bold Man, Peter Dinklage. It's got the Dink in it.
Oh God.
I think he stars
Dude,
in it. Dink.
speaking of Peter Dinklage, they shelved the Toxic Avenger movie.
What was it that
Yeah.
bad?
They're saying that it's pretty bad.
I was, yeah. I mean,
Like, have you
it's like
seen the
he's
original?
play it, yeah. But dude, if they shelved it after that, knowing the original, it's like whoa, you know.
Yeah, right. But I'm ready for the
Wow.
Thicket. Do you?
She's looking rough.
Uh-huh.
Go after him. What I want to know is how Juliette Lewis got her voice to sound like that.
I know, right?
Oh, her name's Cutthroat Bill. You know, I don't recall seeing a lot of little people in westerns.
No.
No vaccines.
Mhm.
It don't look bad though.
No.
That was Andrew Schultz, by the way.
The comedian?
Yes, the guy went, I was
It
starting to
looked like
like
him.
you.
Yeah.
That's why he had that mustache.
Yeah,
That makes
James
sense.
Hetfield.
Oh, it's going to theaters. Wow.
Wow, rated R. Check that fro out.
Mm. Oh, is that
Peacock.
Kevin
Fight
Hart?
Night?
Yeah. Whoop that trick. You ain't no man. I don't know, man. It's Kevin Hart, man. All right, man. I'm gonna play it, man. So they're gonna rob a fight at the casino. Fight night heist movie.
What's Cheadle doing there?
Just chiddling.
That Sam
It
Jackson?
was. Oh, Kevin Hart's being serious. Oh, there he is, man. What's up, man?
Mm.
Yeah, I'm watching this. Look at that hair. I like it. Damn, that dude Terrence Howard had on. They say based on some real shit.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Oh, it's
Oh,
a
it's a
series.
series.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
Damn. Huh.
It
Hell yeah.
don't look bad.
No. Chicken Man.
Chicken Man, dude.
Oh, we got the final.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna try. I don't know how everything's gonna shake out, but I'm gonna try to go watch it this weekend. If not, I'm definitely
Damn,
going
does it
next
come out this weekend?
July the 26th, so it comes out Friday.
Sheesh.
I'd like to be able for me and Deidre to go watch it, but
I'm gonna
I feel
go,
like
but I
it.
ain't going opening like night or something because it'll be fucking packed. I'm gonna try to pick a nice little matinee to get in there.
Yeah.
I just don't like being in a full theater, and by
No.
full
Oh,
I
I'm
mean
right there
more
with
than
you.
5 people.
Yeah. But I'm excited for this shit.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's good. I think
Well,
it will be because I mean I know it will be.
you gotta have faith playing it.
Yeah.
That like a prayer build up. Oh, bet. Is that the little girl that killed him before?
Yeah, that's X23.
What? She's grown up.
Yeah.
There's a dog version.
Yeah. They're bringing the Deadpools together.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited. Okay.
Red
I wasn't
band.
I wasn't expecting this tonight. It's
No,
2.5
I'm
minutes.
excited for this.
Don't even look like the
Wow.
same
What?
movie.
Yeah. Have you seen it, Griff?
No, I haven't watched the trailer yet.
Bruh.
Oh my
At one
bruh.
point, the
It
robot dude takes the antlers off his head and stabs someone with them.
W.
Yeah.
Okay.
Happens
Let's
pretty
Yeah.
let's
quick.
get into
It's gonna
this.
be a different. This is gonna be a completely different movie.
Playing it now. Red band trailer.
Mm.
Don't remember saying that thing.
No. Holy shit! Like, dude got Caesared, you
He
know?
did. Salad.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
What a song choice. Look at me.
The fuck is that?
I think it's her. Looked like her. Wow. Like, I think it
Yeah,
was
it's
like
like a whole different movie.
yeah.
What?
I mean,
Locked August the 6th.
grab your helmets because it's gonna be a banger.
Banger.
My neck's
And the
already
It
Sega.
could
hurting.
it could have a fucking plot that is paper thin, dude, but visually that movie's gonna be a fucking adventure,
He
dude.
just needed more time. He's like, I'll make a whole nother set of movies.
Here's my thing: a movie with that level of spectacle going on, like you're not gonna have to think too hard. Like you can play in on all the tropes, all the Star Wars, good and evil shit that he was doing, but like doing his own thing with it. Like, yeah, I'm a little bit hyped for that. I have a little more faith now.
Speaking of having faith,
Final trailer. So that's coming out
I
soon too.
yeah, I might go to the theaters and try to peep this. It looks so, dude. I have watched this. I'm so excited for this movie to drop.
I haven't seen this one.
There's, there's two of us.
Playing
I'm
it.
stoked for it too. Alien.
Isn't it?
So glad they did set design for this.
It's the chick from Civil War.
Man, those practical effects, fake huggers, dude.
That poster's cool. The red one.
Yeah.
It's water, bitch. Oh, you're getting got. Terrifying.
Look at this shit.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, probably don't touch her. God damn, this looks better than Deadpool. That's a fucking
I
trailer, man.
100%,
How
I
fucking good does that
100%
look?
agree. That I'm on par with you with that, Adam. Like that
Like,
looks like it slaps a little harder.
bring the noise.
God damn, I can't wait to see that movie, dude.
We got the final trailer for the Joker.
Film for IMAX.
Ew. Playing it. Get what you fucking deserve. Is he singing the Jiminy Cricket song?
Yeah.
Looks dark.
Yeah.
I think all that shit's going on in their head.
It looks good.
It does look.
Okay.
Beetlejuice, the new Beetlejuice trailer.
I haven't watched this one
Beetlejuice,
yet.
Beetlejuice. Excited. It's
The
going to be a
juice
good
is
year, dude. As
loose.
long as they don't blow the world up. It's like, let's these movies come out first.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. Let's hold off on
Let me at least
Annihilation.
go watch these before the next pandemic, please.
Yeah. Right.
Play it at. Harsh.
Mm.
Look at him, man. Watch his little head pop up.
Love the music choice.
The Bee Gees. My favorite demon. Spill your guts.
Mhm.
hell, hell yeah.
Love it.
It doesn't look bad at all.
I mean, yeah, dude. Rayon!
It's that time.
I mean, I'm ready for it.
Cue the violence.
Look for the pants.
Look what I. You already know it's gonna be badass from the music.
Yeah.
Trust,
What
he's like,
is up
trust
with
me.
that eye?
He knocked my eye like this. Like,
You should not have insulted their god. Holy man by day, gangster nightclub owner by night. What are you going to do? They all have the Dr. Disrespect mustache. What are you going to do about it, Raul?
Okay.
rain music.
Yeah.
Ah. Ah.
Comes out soon.
Hell yeah. All right, what's it gonna be
I
next week?
mean, it's a tragedy. I'm certainly not throwing this in the box unless you guys feel differently. But I started the first hour of Horizon.
Yeah.
Um,
I actually saw you watching that, and I was like, well, "It's kind of late to be starting a 3-hour movie."
Mhm.
oh yeah, once I saw how long it was, I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, gonna have to break it up. I know that goes against Griffin's beliefs, but I'm sorry. But but in that first hour, I can tell you guys this: he will win the cinematography award for this film,
And it's rated R.
without a doubt. Um, you know how we often quote, and a lot of other people tend to as well, where it's like every frame is a wallpaper.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're just like fuck the movie's plot at this point. Movie was just Kevin Costner hiring a damn good DP and getting some of the best fucking wide shots of like Wyoming and shit that I've ever seen. Just good old classic Sergio Leone style wide pans of just open fucking range, all that stuff. And there's some shots where just the way everything is lined up, it just looks fucking beautiful. Like there's a one particular moment where a character is on horseback trying to find a little settlement area, and you can tell he's been going along this path trying to, follow a map that he's got like a crude map. And so he's on horseback, and there's a moment where he goes to the steps of this dilapidated church, and it's the classic frame, no roof, no wall. You see one in every western, but it's sitting on like this hill with these long set of steps. It gave me total Dark Tower vibes, Griff.
Hell yeah.
Like the way they explain it in the novel, where it's just that huge chunk of stairs, and you've got that Michael Whalen photo, illustration that shows the tower and like a little bit of in the distance with the roses around it, and you see that long staircase.
Yeah.
Well, imagine a shot similar to that, but it's the desert. You see open mountain ranges in the back, and then he's on that horse going up the steps, and there's just that moment you're gonna notice. You're like, that's a shot, you know.
Right.
And but I would say it's an honorable mention. If y'all want to go for the podlock on it,
I'm down.
I'm
I mean, I'll
down.
go watch it anyway. So
But I mean, and I will say this first hour,
that's
the
why it's
movie's
there.
been nothing but total fucking chaos. Like it's not a slow burn by any means.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
yeah, I'm cool with it. This part one, right? It's gonna be a
Yeah.
2-part. Yeah.
3 hours. When I saw that runtime, I was like, "Whoa, that's a movie."
Yeah.
But I'm here for it. And this is what he quit Yellowstone for.
I mean, I would say he made the right move, man, because the first hour, dude, is
It was so
it's a
good you had to
solid
pause
film.
it. You were like, "Wait a minute, I had to come back. I gotta
It was so
suck up."
good, it was like, fuck, I have to go to bed. It's like I have to work. Like if I had free range, man, I probably would have sat through all of it.
Bet.
Works for me. I
That
mean, we got
settles
the
it.
Acolyte done, so I ain't got to worry about
Yeah.
cramming that.
Alright.
I would say that if you have to digest it in parts, I would say 3 settings of 1 hour each will do you fine, or hour and a half. But I did notice that when I hit the 1 hour marker, it was a good stopping point. Like, you know what I mean? Like I know where I'm at, I know what's picking up and all that stuff.
Well, I finally figured out how to break that. Like, when you're watching a show and it's like, man, I gotta go to bed. Here's what you don't do. Don't let it finish. Leave in the middle. Because if you get to the end of an episode, there's a cliffhanger. It sets it up for the next one.
Yeah.
I finally figured that out. I'm like, I need to go to bed now. You leave in the middle of an episode because you can.
Yeah.
That's the best time to do it. That's it, though. Checks in the mail.
Flags raised.